FBC, back again with another interview in our Angels Among Us Advent series. I'm here today with Freiman Stoltzfus. Freiman, thank you for joining us, first of all.
My pleasure.
How long have you been in Lancaster? And how long have you been, you have a studio downtown.
I do.
Those two, let's start off with that. Who are you?
My name is Freiman Stoltzfus, lifelong artist, born and raised in Lancaster, born here in the city, raised in the county, Amish country, Bird in Hand, intercourse area. Yeah. Very deep pre-Revolutionary War roots here. So my family came from Germany in the mid-1700s, so I feel very connected to this area. I've lived in other places, and I come back here. There's a seduction of deep roots, family, friends that always draws me back. And I do love this area, especially the people. I have so many great friends and clients here.
Yeah. No, we have not talked about this yet, but I'm an 11th generation Lancastrian as well.
Wow.
We have traced my roots back to 1719.
It's amazing.
Same thing. It is one of those places where it just draws you back.
It does.
Yeah.
You feel well, and to have the sense of self, to know your own history, to know. I think this is a huge gift that not everyone enjoys, especially in this country. You know, I love that people are finally interested in genealogy. Yeah, that certainly was not the case 10 or 15 years ago. So.
Yeah, knowing where we've come from and how that creates an identity.
Yeah, I think the cliche is true. I mean, how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you come from?
Where you've come from, yeah, right. Totally. And now you said a lifelong artist. Mm-hmm. Was that as a child? Did you have that sense of needing and wanting to doing art even from a young age?
Yeah, well, I think every child creates naturally with abandon, you know, like whether it's coloring or drawing colorful stick figures or whatever. I just never stopped. So I feel like art chose me. I didn't really have much of a say in the matter, you know, because I just always did it. I had to do it to express myself. Yeah. I started selling my work at about the age of 10 as a preteen. And so I gradually grew into my vocation, what it means to be an artist, what it means to see things, to see the world around you, to have a heightened sense of visual identity, you know, like to say I can really see that flower, that leaf blowing from the tree. I mean, there's really a poetic element that I've embraced to really be able to see. Most people don't know how to look or to see anything around them, even the face of their children or grandchildren. And I think the arts open us up to say, I'm fully present here. I see you. I see this tree. I see that house across the street with the light falling on it. All of it. Yeah. You know. Yeah, that's beautiful. Now let's get back to we're in this season of Advent, and we're focusing on angels here at FBC and Angels Among Us. And you have this beautiful piece in our gallery hallway of this. Very, I would say, statuesque angel standing in front of several landmarks of the Lancaster skyline. Yeah. What do you hope someone gains in seeing this art and experiencing this piece in our gallery hallway? Well, I think I would have to ask myself what I see in it, and I created it for my own comfort. I think at the time I've had some losses in my life. And when I created that piece, the color tones are kind of muted, but there's a great sense of comfort in the idea of an angel looking out for us over the city. She's holding a light, you know, bringing light into the world. There's a quilt which references my Amish background. And then the landmarks. I really love to play with scale, to have, you know, the figure in the landscape and then the buildings beneath that are not supposed to be at all in scale, but to create a sense of place, you know, and then there's sort of a rudimentary grid of a map at the bottom. But for me, yes, comfort, peace, that there are angels among us, that everything is going to be okay, that all is well. This is what I need. That's what I needed when I created the piece, and I hope it's conveyed.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
drawing.
and you started touching on something that I've asked several of the artists. I think we start as artists wanting our art to be one thing, and as we create it, it kind of informs us in different ways.
Yes.
Do you find that both in this piece and all the art you create?
Yeah, I think you have to be willing to let the art have a life of its own, and essentially, I think the best artists are servants to the art, whatever it may be. I mean, it's the greatest privilege to be a servant to art, and so I think I know novelists speak of this a lot, that many times the book knows more than they do, and their job is to follow it along.
Yeah.
And to start out on a piece and say, I absolutely know where this is going, and there's going to be no deviation from my vision. That's not a good approach. You have to be humble and to say, okay, I need to go in that direction now. And that happens every day. Whether it's a sketch or a large painting, I always try to follow rather than lead,
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to remember that until my kid's that.
Okay, really? Yeah.
They are both artists, and it's that one thing that I think they need to see too, is that creating is the thing.
Yes.
Create and let it just be like, great, this one may be one thing, and then the next little sketch that you start may grow into something completely different than where your art started you.
Absolutely, and one idea leads to another,
Yeah.
So you're right. Creation is the thing. So just do it with abandon. Don't think about anything but the joy of the moment. And that's actually the wonderful thing about being an artist or creating, is that you are stepping outside of linear, chronological time and entering a liminal, another world.
Yeah.
Where we're not bound to wristwatches or even whatever, political, philosophy. It's just another realm where we can express ourselves. You know? So it's a great gift. And the thing is, everyone can tap into it. You can do it with gardening. You can do it with arranging a simple flower arrangement, or spending time with your kids. I mean, it can be done in so many different ways. The act of creation is daily, and it can be a mindful practice as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Freiman, for joining us.
My pleasure.
If you have a chance, check out the gallery hallway through the Advent season. Check out Freiman's stuff downtown. He's in Gallery Row.
Yes.
And keep looking for the angels among us and see the world around us. You never know where you're going to find an angel out there.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.